guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla Mingo, and today's video is a video on how to bake a German chocolate cake. I'm really excited about this cake. I made it a few times. It always turned out really good, and German chocolate cake has always been intimidating to me. It just seems so complicated, and so I made it a couple times and it's really not that hard. So if you're not a baker like me, or you're a novice, this is the right video for you, because I'm not a baker. This is not a baking channel. I don't have all the fancy tools and all of that. It's just me, my hand mixer, my bowl. I'm going to show you simply how to do it. So yes. So before we get started, I'm going to show you my cute little apron. I know y'all are saying, why are you all dressed up like this? I'm just being extra, and I'm not going to apologize for being extra. So yes, if you like this little apron and you want to add this to your kitchen accessories, I'll link the apron in the description below. Came from Amazon, and I'll link it below. But I just thought this was so cute. You might as well look cute while you're cooking, right? If you guys are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Let's go ahead and jump right into this cake. First, let me tell you where the recipe came from. This is not a family secret recipe or some special recipe that I created. This is actually a recipe that is on the Baker's German chocolate packaging for the German chocolate, and the recipe is inside the box. I've made this cake a couple of times using this recipe, and it always came out good. So that's where the recipe is. I will also put this recipe in the description below, but if you buy this, you should have the recipe. When I bought my current German chocolate bar a few weeks ago, they did not have the cake recipe inside. They had the cupcakes inside. So I was like, I need the actual cake, not cupcakes. So I happened to have my old box that with the recipe that has the cake inside. So if you go buy this German chocolate, you may have a cupcake recipe inside. So that's why I'm going to put the actual cake recipe in the description. So now let's talk about your ingredients, okay? You're going to need 4 eggs, and we're going to have to separate the eggs. You will need 2 sticks of butter or 2 cups of butter. 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 cup of water, and of course your German chocolate bar. It's a 4-ounce bar, so you only need 1 bar. You will also need 1 cup of buttermilk. You will need cake pans. You will need like 3 cake pans like this. Because we're gonna do a 3-layer cake, so you need 3 of these. You will need some Baker's Joy, your mixing bowl, your hand mixer. So you're going to need 4 egg yolks of 12 ounces of evaporated milk. This is not 12 ounces. This is 5 ounces, but you're going to need a 12-ounce can. Or you can just 12 ounces of evaporated milk. You're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. You're going to need 1.5 cups of sugar. You're going to need 3/4 cup or 1.5 sticks of butter. You will need 1 package of coconut, about 2 2/3 cup of coconut flakes. And you will need 1.5 cups of Planters. It says Planters, you can get any kind. 1.5 cups of chopped pecans. Okay? So that's all you need for your icing. So I want to give you all the ingredients up front in case you need to pause this video run to the store to get all your ingredients. And so now let's go ahead and get ready to bake this cake. So the first thing you want to do when you get ready to start baking your cake is preheat your oven. So we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate my egg whites from my yolk, okay? And so how you do that is you just go back and forth with your egg until just the egg whites separate like that. And then you're going to put the yolk in a separate bowl. Okay, you want to keep that. The next thing we're going to do is beat our egg whites in a small bowl. And then you're going to beat the egg whites until they turn white and where you can make peaks. I'll show you what I'm talking about when I say peaks. As you beat your egg whites, it will get thicker and thicker, and then it'll become like this stiff, frothy texture. So you know when you're done when you can lift your mixer up and you have little peaks that stay up. That's when you know you're done. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to set this to the side. The next thing we're going to do is take our flour and we're going to go ahead and add our baking soda and our salt. So we need 1 teaspoon of not baking powder, but baking soda. So we're going to put that in the flour. We need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm putting that in the flour mixture, and then I'm going to just kind of mix that all together in the flour, okay? We're going to set this to the side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our butter and we're going to put it in a bowl. You're going to beat your butter until it's nice and creamy. Your butter should be room temperature and your eggs should be room temperature as well. You want all of your cold ingredients to be room temperature if possible. And then you're going to also add in sugar to your butter. And you're going to mix that until it's nice and creamy. After you finish beating your sugar and your butter together until it's nice and creamy, you're going to add your eggs 1 yolk at a time. This is just egg yolks. You should have 4 of these, and you're going to just add them 1 at a time and mix that together. After you finish beating your egg yolks in your butter and sugar mixture, you need to melt your German chocolate. So I just broke the little chocolate up into little smaller pieces like this. Put them in a microwave safe bowl. And then you're going to add a little water. This is what the 1/2 cup of water is for. You're going to pour water in this bowl. You're going to put this in the microwave for about 1.5, probably 1 to 1.5 minutes in the microwave until it's melted, and then you'll stir it up. So I'm going to go put this in the microwave right now. Okay, now that I've finished beating my eggs in here, I've put the chocolate in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. And now I just got the chocolate out of the microwave. And what you'll need to do is stir it. It's going to be a little watery, and that's okay, but you want to mix it up and stir it. This chocolate smells so delicious. So you just kind of stir that. It really, if I had a bigger bowl, I could stir it a little harder. So that may be a tip for you, is to use a little bit deeper bowl, because this bowl is very shallow. So I'm trying to stir it carefully so I don't waste chocolate all over the counter. I wish I could just really get in here and just stir. So once you get your chocolate all stirred up, you're just going to set this to the side. You're going to use this in just a minute. So back to your main batter. So the next step is to put in your vanilla. And we're doing 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So we're going to pour this in to the mixture. We're gonna mix that up. After the vanilla, we're going to put in our chocolate. So here's the melted chocolate. And we're simply going to pour that into our batter. And we're going to blend. Okay, so after we've mixed in our vanilla and chocolate, we're going to now do our flour and our buttermilk. We're going to alternate. So we're going to put a little flour in, blend, a little buttermilk, blend, flour. We're going to alternate back and forth until it's all gone, okay? So that's what we're doing next. So I'm going to start with my flour first. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. Not too much, just a little. And blend. Then a little bit of buttermilk. Blend. A little bit of flour. And just keep going back and forth until this is all mixed up. So I'm done beating all my chocolate and flour and all of my main ingredients in here, and it looks so delicious. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's going to look like this, nice and fluffy, smells so delicious. So the last thing we're adding to this are our egg whites. Okay, so remember earlier when we beat those egg whites and we set those to the side in a separate bowl? So you're going to take your egg whites. You're not going to use your mixer. You're just going to stir in your egg whites gently. You're not beating it. You're just going to stir it in and then just kind of mix it in, gently stir until it's all blended. Okay. We're now going to spray our pans with Baker's Joy. You want to spray them really well because you don't want your cake to stick. So spray them really, really good. You should have 3 of these. Okay. So you want to make sure you evenly distribute the cake batter. So I do like a little here, then I'll come over and do another one. And then another one to make sure I don't put too much in one. And I can always go back and add a little more. Of course, you will need a spatula because it's really hard to get all of this filling, or cake batter I should say, out of here without a nice, big spatula. When I was growing up, my grandmother would tell me, like, get all of this out, because that could be a whole slice of cake that you're missing when you leave batter in your bowl. And I always think about that. Like, I don't leave a lot of batter because I'm always thinking that's one more slice of cake that I'm leaving on the table. So just spread it out a little bit. I think I got a little more in this one. Let me put... That's how your cake end up being lopsided when your cakes are not even, when you have like one that's big and one that's small. Okay, so now we're ready to put them in the oven and bake them. Okay, we're ready to put our cakes in the oven. So my oven is already ready. It's at 350, and I'm going to place these cakes in the oven for about 30 minutes. Okay, so 30 minutes and they should be ready. Put my timer on. 30 minutes start. And while the cakes are baking, let's go ahead and get our icing already made. So when the cakes come out, we can just put our icing on and we'll be done. Okay, so to make your frosting, you will need a large saucepan, and what we're going to do is we're going to heat up our milk. So pour all of your milk in there, and this was 1.5 cups of milk, or I should say 12 ounces. 12 ounces of evaporated milk, 4 egg yolks. Go ahead and turn this on so it can get started heating up. And then we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. So you're going to heat this up for about 12 minutes, and you're going to heat it up until it's like a golden brown and it's kind of thick. Okay, so we're just going to mix this, and it's on medium heat so it doesn't cook too fast and it doesn't burn. See how that looks. So after it heats up a little bit, you're going to add your butter, which is 1.5 sticks of butter. That's what you're going to add to this mixture, and then your sugar. I'm going to cut this just to help it melt a little bit better. Then add your sugar, 1.5 cups of sugar. So my cakes are done. I just took them out of the oven, and you want to make sure they're done. These look definitely done. You're going to use a toothpick, put it inside. If it comes out clean, then your cake is ready. So I'm continuing to heat up this mixture. And as soon as it gets a little bit thicker, I'm going to add my pecans and my coconut. Okay, so that's how it's looking. You want to let your cakes cool in the pans for about 15 minutes. So now we're going to add our pecans, and you're going to add this coconut. So mix that all together. Looking very yummy. Let me see if I can show you kind of what it's looking like. I really don't need the whisk anymore because everything's getting kind of hung in the whisk. So I'm going to remove the whisk and just use a spoon. I'm just going to use a regular spoon now. I'm going to let this simmer for about another maybe 2 minutes. And then I'm just going to let it sit on the stove and cool all the way down. And once it's cooled all the way down, then we'll put the frosting on the cake. Okay guys, so our cakes are cool. The icing is ready. I transferred the icing into this bowl. And so what we're going to do is take each of these cakes out of the pan, and we're going to stack them, and we're going to put icing on them. And if you want like that icing between every layer, what you're going to do is put a layer of icing here. So I'm going to use my spatula and put a layer of icing in the middle. Not too much, because you want to make sure you don't run out for the top of the cake. So just a thin layer that you're putting in between each of these layers. Okay, guys, I am done with my cake. So let's go ahead and cut a slice and see how it tastes. Let's try a piece of this cake. So moist. The icing is amazing. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope this has inspired you to try to make a German chocolate cake. It was really pretty. I'm not going to say easy. It's a lot of steps, but it's not really hard if you prepare and have all your ingredients. And if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and then like and comment on the video. Bye-bye.